Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on mysterious and weird true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 96, written by pannichristina. Awakens to a great brightness. What could cause this blinding light? This happened quite some time ago, in the late 90s, early 2000s, when I was around 17 or 18 years old. Till today, I do not have any explanation for what happened, and I never told this story to anyone because I would just simply sound stupid. We lived in our family house in a small town, and my room faces to our garden. Beyond our garden, there are other neighboring gardens from all directions. A quiet neighborhood though. So one summer night I was sleeping, and I suddenly woke up. There was a disturbingly huge brightness coming from outside, in our garden. I'm sleepy and groggy, getting up from the bed to check out what is going on. Everything is quiet, no noise besides the brightness in the window. Everything is the same usual summer night as every other night. To get to the window, I'm passing by my TV desk and shelves where the other video player was, which had a digital clock on it. I check the time. It's 1:14 a.m. I'm getting to my window, and I saw an incredibly huge spaceship, exactly like the ones we've all seen in the movies and documentaries. All the brightness is coming from it. It's floating above the gardens with no sound at all. At this point, I want to add that while I do believe in the paranormal, and have plenty of paranormal experiences myself, I do not believe in aliens, and I never was interested in them at any level. I don't usually watch such movies, and I'm still not interested in it. So, I acknowledge what I saw. I thought, what the hell is this? This looks like an alien spaceship from docs, movies. So, the light and brightness is coming from here. Oh my god. What is this thing doing here? Will they take me or what? Okay, this is just impossible. At this point, I thought, okay, let's get back to bed. This is just surreal. This all took like 5 seconds at my window. I didn't see, hear, experience anything else besides what is written above. Then I turned back to get into my bed, again passing by the shelf and video player, and the digital clock shows the time now as 3:24. At this point I was really shocked, because over 2 hours had passed in what felt like the blink of an eye. I still felt incredibly sleepy, got back in bed and fell asleep quickly despite these disturbing events. I didn't feel scared or afraid, even unsafe in any moment. Now some of you may say I dreamed it. Everything is possible. However, I absolutely feel certain it truly happened. Still today, I feel certain that it was not a dream. Even dreams are messy. There are unrealistic events and things in them. But even if they seem real after waking up, you know they were just dreams. But not this one. Not this one. Case notes, file number 96. Did you notice anything odd on the following day after you woke up for the second time? Any compressed grass or shredded flowers, ruffled hedges, anything like that? It's commonly reported that alien ships are completely quiet, which by itself is fascinating. But often it's also reported that the ground beneath a hovering ship is disturbed in some way. The author responded to my questions, saying, "No, absolutely nothing. Actually, all next day and even a week after, I was absolutely deep in it, because I couldn't explain the entire thing and I felt certain that it was not a dream. Nothing on myself either, no pain, no marks, no memories of anything else. Nothing in the garden or on our huge cherry tree. Just nothing, no traces at all." I responded, "It's curious about dreams, isn't it? Even when they're lucid, it's still easy to know a dream from reality. And how big was the ship, by the way?" The author responded, "Yeah, it really is interesting. Even many times while dreaming, you're aware that it's just a dream." How big was it? It was pretty hard to give an approximate size, let's say pretty big. Bigger than a house, especially in diameter. But in height, it wasn't very high. It was mostly oval, plate-shaped, with several round windows on it. And a huge light was coming from the windows and from the bottom part of the spacecraft, or I don't even know exactly how to call it. Case file number 97. Written by Zamia48. Many signs, many signals. Many droplets of life's eternal persistence. Hi. This has been something I've been meaning to write for the past 3 months. Back on November the 22nd, my father passed away unexpectedly from a massive heart attack while out of town. He had it on the 21st. This date plays a role in something I discovered today. When we got to the hospital the morning of the 22nd, he passed within 30 minutes of my mother and I arriving in the room he was in. He was medically brain dead and hooked up to many machines that were keeping his vitals stable. What I thought was the craziest part was a minute before we lost him and were saying our goodbyes, I noticed that he had a small tear pouring down from his left eye and pointed this out to my mom. I like to think he was saying goodbye to us as well, even though we couldn't hear him. I had my phone on a table that was about 4 feet away from us. A couple moments after the passing, Siri was randomly going off. I took comfort in knowing that he held on for us to get there so we could say our goodbyes. The next morning on our drive home from the hospital, roughly 2.5 hours away from our hometown, right when we got off our exit to get home, I got a notification from eBay. Last summer, he got me a couple of NASCAR jackets to flip on eBay. One sold back in September, and the notification I got was that the second jacket sold. I thought to myself, this is too much to be coincidence for it not to be a sign. Over the next few days, when we were figuring out our life insurance policies and such, my mother got visibly angry because she took out an extra policy on him, but supposedly he didn't have an extra one for himself. Don't get me wrong, we aren't greedy or anything. Hell, I don't care if I get a dime. I just want my mom to be taken care of and minimize her worries. I was about to get ready to meet with the priest. The phone rings and invalid number shows up on the caller ID. I never answer unknown calls, but I didn't want my mother to deal with it, so I picked it up. I said hello a couple of times. Then the sound of a broken cell phone comes through, and the voice sounded that of a man in his mid-20s that was really sad. It said, "Don't worry," or "No worries. Where are you? Miss you. With Grandpa, love you." I said, "What?" a couple of times, and then the phone hung up. I was baffled. I looked up at the number again, and instead of 1-800, the number was 11-800. I did a reverse lookup of the number, and there was some communication company. I decided to call the number, and it was a standard touch menu. I stopped at that. Turns out, since time has passed, more things were sorted out and she doesn't have to worry, and there were secret accounts and policies. I've had signs here and there from him. He has even shown up in my room when I was sleeping. My mother's signs have been things she just had disappear only to reappear later. Her big one that she got, and it took her a bit to realize. My parents' lawn was one of my dad's pride and joys. He wouldn't let anyone touch it at all, and very particular on how it was cut. He would joke with my mother, "When I'm gone, who's going to take care of the lawn?" To which she would just hold up the phone and say, "Hello, lawn boy?" About 2 weeks after his passing, a landscaper called and left a message asking if she would like a price quote for lawn care. She didn't call back, and a couple days later the person called again and left the same message. Then it clicked for her. That was a sign for her. Mind you, it was December in Wisconsin. No one is worried about their lawn. Some other things from different family members. The day after his passing, one cousin shot the biggest buck of his life. My father had his heart attack while he was at deer camp. One of his sisters that he's close with said she found a white feather on her writing desk the morning after he passed. One of my other cousins, who was the funeral director and he worked with for a few years towards the end of his life, had a dream that seemed too real. She said she went over to the house and he was in the garage, putzing around, having a cigarette in his usual habitat. She said to him, "Uncle Mickey, what are you doing here? You're dead." To which he said, "Yeah, I know, and I'm doing just fine." Like I said, she said it seemed like one of those dreams that was too real. Now for what we found out today. My dad owned a barber shop for roughly 30 years. Today, my mother went by the shop to give the guy he mentored one of his clippers as a memento. He showed her a picture. It was a picture an old customer took. The picture was of a hearse parked in front of the barber shop. I guess the guy took the picture because he saw it there when he went into a store, and when he came out 20 minutes later, it was still there. So he snapped it because he thought it was funny. Well, the date of the picture, November 21st, the day my dad had his heart attack. I'm sure others have had some signs too, and I know I'm missing some of the other ones I've had. If you made it this far, thank you, and I really appreciate it. Case notes, file number 97. I'm really sorry for the passing of your father, but I'm glad he's able to give all these hints that he's okay. All these little incidents and little events that happen to show that he's still around effectively, putting your mind at ease. His essence is still there. But it really makes me wonder what life really is like after our body shuts off. The biggest issue is no food. What a torture. Although I suspect this isn't a concern of spirits when they cross over. Appetite goes away. It makes me wonder how all of this ties together with quantum immortality, simulation theory. Perhaps these spirits are simulated echoes, a sort of AI that replaces them, so those who are still alive don't feel lost or disconnected, while the player that passed awakens in the real world, then can re-enter the server as a new player, sort of reincarnation, without their past memories. A scientific twist on the paranormal, in a way. But who knows, maybe it's just God's rules and there is a proper afterlife. I'm not in too much of a hurry to find out. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and feel free to watch more on my channel. I have a lot more content.